Hello, hello, hello. So I finally made it. This is our channel from the Nintendo Switch Italian group, the official Nintendo Switch Italian group. I am making this video in English so that all the non-Italian speaking people can understand and can follow us on this channel. As you can see, we are kind of poor with our technical instruments. My technical support by now is just given by my smartphone and a miserable webcam for my computer. But anyways, let's get down to it. This is actually my Nintendo Direct Rant video, the English version. I know it's a bit late. It's more or less 1 week later, but I just 4 or 5 days later. But I just wanted to came out to you straight and just tell you what I think, what my thoughts are, and maybe it's even better to do it 4 or 5 days later, so you know I can kind of think about it. I did the Italian version. I was kind of harsh. I want to get this out of the way. I don't think it was a bad direct. I just think that it's maybe not enough for this year and next year. In the beginning of 2018, I wasn't seeing Nintendo's future very bright. Obviously, the numbers are proving me wrong. The console is selling pretty well. In July, it was the best system. I don't know. I don't have the NPD data on the month of August, but I think that more or less we are there. September is going to be a completely different issue because there are a couple of very big exclusive for the PS4, talking about Spider-Man and Dragon Quest XI. So probably we'll be having the PS4 dominating the charts as always. My problem with this Direct and my problem with the Nintendo Switch in general is that we had a spectacular first year. We had a spectacular launch year. We were having an average one exclusive per month. We had some very, very, very good releases, some very good exclusives. Not only Odyssey, not only Breath of the Wild. We had Xenoblade, we had a new IP with ARMS, we had Splatoon 2. We had some very, very good games, and we had some pretty good third-party support. We had some amazing indies. We had a very good indie showcase. So the future was very bright. For somebody that just got the console in the first year, it was amazing. I actually do not recall having a first year, a launch year, this good for a console in terms of games, in terms of software. I remember buying PS2, PS3, and having to wait, Xbox, having to wait months and months to have decent games. I have the impression that the contrary is happening here. I don't see a bright future. I don't see anything for the future. I don't see those big, passionate single-player adventure, single-player games that represent and let the console sell by itself. If we look back at 2018, we see a year. We don't see a bad year, but you know, the predictions were different, but not the predictions by the critics or by the experts. The predictions from Nintendo itself. The market predictions were 20 grand number of selling units. Nintendo said at the beginning of the year that they expected to have from March 2018 to March 2018 to March 2019, they were supposed to sell 20 million units. This is not going to happen. They sold barely we are in September. They sold 2 million units, so it's not going to happen. This thing is absolutely not going to happen. They are lucky if they're getting to 20 millions in a whole. This is some very worrying data from my point of view. This is something that the market is keeping in mind. I saw some very bad numbers in the stock market. I see some disillusion by investors and by gamers themselves. The reactions to this direct, from my point of view, are not in the right perspective. I mean, people probably, due to the lack of games, of exclusives in 2018, they didn't have really high expectations. People, especially after the disastrous E3 from Nintendo, they expected nothing. I myself expected nothing. The Direct was a good one. There were a lot of contents. There was a lot of stuff, a lot of meat. But we have to keep the perspective, and we have to see what the future has in hold for this console. And I don't think the future is any bright, like I said before. Because if we look at this Direct, what did it actually come up with? Nintendo came up with Animal Crossing, getting the big kudos from the fan servers. A lot of people were actually demanding this game and expecting this game. So, big thumbs up to Nintendo for doing that. But at the same time, the only game, the only big surprise, the only big game that is coming out for the future for this console is Luigi Mansion. I'm not even counting Yoshi. I know it's an exclusive, but I'm not counting it in because I think it's going to be more or less a game for kids like Kirby was. So the only big game is Luigi Mansion 3, which is awesome. I love this series. I love the first one for GameCube. I loved it for 3DS. I think it's amazing. It's a lovely game. But this game is coming in December 2019. In the meanwhile, what are we going to play with? We had a 2018 that was characterized by a lot of indie releases. The Nintendo Switch has become the perfect indie machine. But I don't even think that people are willing to spend 300 euros for an indie machine. We are talking about games that are awesome to play in portability and to take wherever we want. This is something that we all love on the Switch. But at the same time, I think that if we really wanted to play with indie games, we could have kept the PS Vita, or at least we can play these games on other platforms. These are not exclusives. There are way too many trash games on the eShop. This is becoming an issue. There's a lot of trash coming on the eShop. I don't like to see all these mobile games on for the Switch. I think they're poor shit.